Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Damn Good Fight. And today with us, we have Laila Ali. The honor to have you on our show is very, very incredible. Laila, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Is it okay if we call you Laila?
Laila, that's fine. I was born Miriam, and I had Laila as a baby, and it just kind of stuck. So I'm both, but Laila is fine.
You got it. Okay, sounds good.
I like Miriam.
Yeah, of
I do too.
course.
That's the name of my cousin.
Oh, call me Miriam. Call me
That's right.
Miriam.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Let's
Miriam.
change it. Let's change it.
Okay,
We'll go with Miriam.
Miriam.
It's really funny how the universe works, Miriam. My father met your father years ago, and one of the producers on this show knew your father and your family years ago as well. And how we all kind of cross-linked is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yes, the world is small.
And now here we are talking on this round table.
But I will say, most people I meet will say, I met your dad here. He was everywhere.
Of course.
He's so accessible to people.
I'm sure it's like
Yeah.
my father when he meets people of all different calibers in the industry, not the industry. He's everywhere. He travels a lot. So yeah, I understand.
But when I met your father, the beauty of it, I was a nobody. Not as a human being, we're all equal, but
Yes.
in terms of...
You weren't famous yet.
I wasn't famous, but not at all. And I knew your father was training in a gym on Main Street.
In Florida?
No,
Or in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles, the
Okay.
old one, right?
Okay.
And my friend, I'm not into religion. I respect all religion, but because I love everybody and I'm from the world. But my friend, Mohammed Kis, he's a Muslim guy. So he was able to relate with Muhammad Ali. And I was having the chance to go in the ring and to do sparring, but not with the face. So I did some leg stuff.
Yeah.
He go, oh, what's the karate stuff, man?
Right,
That's
right.
not for me. But he played with me because he's a long
Oh,
guy.
that is so nice.
And Mohammed was a boxer. The joy of him being with your father in the ring, it's
Yes,
like
that's
from
awesome.
Belgium, yeah.
So were you able to get in the ring with my dad?
Yeah, and
Oh,
he
that's
gave
cool.
us a place to stay, place to...
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and years later, I met your father on Wilshire.
Yes.
He has a villa there with a gate.
He lived off of Wilshire.
And he showed us, again, me and Mohammed, a magic trick.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I see the trick. And I don't say nothing because it's a champ, right? But
Right.
And sometimes I didn't see it.
Right.
And then he gave us potatoes, the sweet one.
Yes.
And then he say, bye-bye. I mean, who do that?
Oh, yeah. Did you go in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He let a lot of
He
people in
invited me
that
in his
house.
house, like in his office.
Anyone could be off the street and come into this gated community and say, I'm Joe Schmo from Florida. Can I meet Muhammad? And they'll call my dad and let him in.
Amazing.
And,
That's beautiful.
And the only bad thing about that, I ended up with one stalker because of that.
Right.
We can relate.
There was a guy who used to always let in, and then when my dad left Los Angeles, that man started stalking me. And I actually bought a gun for him, just for him.
Good, you have to, yeah.
It was crazy. And I said, Dad, see, I told you, one of these days you'll invite the wrong person in the house. But, he loved people.
He's open to
Yeah,
people.
he hated to say no to people.
I understand that. It's because he had a big heart and he was comfortable with that. That's fantastic. That's pure power.
Yeah.
He was
My
having a
father's the same way.
problem saying no?
Yeah, he just, I think he met someone he admired when he was a child, and that person brushed him off, and he said, I'll never want anyone to feel that way ever again.
Get you.
So he just, autographs, or I've seen him kind of reprimand other celebrities when we're at functions.
Right.
The celebrity will turn a kid down for autograph, and he'll
Get
just
you.
kind of go in on them. And he'll say, I've seen him do this about 3 times, and he'll go, you wouldn't be anything if they didn't come to your movies. You wouldn't be nothing if they didn't buy your records, and the person's like, oh boy, and then they sign, so.
And you know what?
just
Your
didn't
father
like
is
that.
totally right. We're nothing without the audience.
Or stay in the house if you don't want to deal with.
I just see the
People-
same. If you have a problem, stay
And if you
home.
really are rushing and can't sign, be nice about it.
Sure.
Right.
You don't have to
Absolutely.
be,
Right.
Yeah, common
Right.
courtesy.
yeah, just be
You're
nice
right.
about it. I'm rushing you for a plane, but I love you. Say something nice.
Right.
Because
Because
I-
also, let's say, and I'm a fan, and I have Muhammad Ali on my room on a poster. And Never met him. And the first time I met him, let's say he's in a bad
Yeah,
mood, the poor
oh,
guy. He can have
man.
a fight with his
Yeah.
wife, with his daughter. His car may break down.
Yeah.
I don't want to sign. So the dream of that child,
You'll just take the poster down. Yeah.
am I right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he knows that Muhammad Ali was very smart for that. And he's right. Without the people, what are we? I can't even have a coffee for free. I don't know. You give it to me. You know, yeah.
Miriam, you do a lot of charity work. Beautiful
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about a
Well,
little bit about this?
not so much charity work. I think the profession I chose, social work, lends to that.
More in depth.
Yeah, I actually was entertainment. I did stand-up comedy for 15 years. I was a rap artist. I mean, you can
That's
find it
so
all
cool.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
However, I love the creativity of the business, but not the business. And I wanted to be a role model for young people when I was rapping in my early 20s.
That's so
and I
cool.
started writing lyrics in my teens. And I really loved the artistry of it. But I saw, before rap music exploded in 92, or right around that time.
Great years for rap music.
Yeah,
Some of the
I
best.
saw that even before it was like awesome when it was
Absolutely.
underground. But I saw they would never promote, I knew, an African-American female, positive, clean, moral rap artist. I saw the genre going very blue and dark. I saw it then, and they never have. So I said, if I can't, I was inspired by how my father used his celebrity and how impactful that was. And rap was this new phenomenon. And I was like, wow, and I loved lyrics, and I could really go, I could really go,
Really?
know? Oh, yeah.
You got to give us an example. That'd be rad.
And I just saw the industry wasn't going to support that. And I said, wow, well, I still want to help young people. And between that, my dad's influence and how he dealt with the youth, and I had a cousin who got murdered in gang violence in Chicago. He wasn't in a gang, his friend was, but they both got murdered. And that made me want to get into the gang prevention, juvenile delinquency prevention field. So I've worked as a social worker in South LA in the highest crime areas of Los Angeles from 1999 to 2013.
Wow.
That's
And
14
it was, it was hard work, but it was very fulfilling, and we made a difference for a lot of young people. We
I'm
really
sure.
did.
I'm
Can
sure.
I ask you two questions
Yes.
about that? The first one, when you work on those people, what you're saying to them, in a way, on a general way, and then I read that some kids, they don't want to be into gangs, but they get attracted to gangs, and they're scared not to.
So this is the
Thank you.
thing. Joining a gang has multiple factors to that. There's a lot of generational dysfunction, and where does that come from?
Right.
That comes from sanctioned segregation. It comes from disparities and inequalities in neighborhoods. You go, schools are based on taxes. They're not based on equality. So these kids are in schools that wreak hopelessness. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
A lot of them don't have fathers, and that's not because Black men are the worst people in the world. It's because we have the largest prison population in all of the world, and behavior has been criminalized to the point where 3 strikes in LA, you steal this water bottle, and that's your 3rd strike, you get 15 to life. So
Really?
not to get very deep, but if you look at the history of how laws have been implemented, and I know this might be hard to swallow, what I'm going to say,
Right.
but the concept of slavery has evolved in that to incarcerate populations where you have a smaller percentage of African Americans living in the country, but there are more African Americans in prison, and they've done research studies on the same crime. The Black person will get triple time than the counterpart.
Right.
So I say all that to say that the condition of poor communities is steeped in that history. So when you're working with young people, and what does that cause? A lot of self-hatred. It causes
Right. Of
self-hatred.
course. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, poverty in any country and crime in any country links back to poverty and dysfunction and violence. But that's the outcome. So when we work with them, we almost have to deprogram. And we do it with unconditional love, and we do it with working so closly with them that they start seeing how they can be empowered and hopeful that they can have a life outside of that community.
Absolutely.
And that takes a long time. We're working with them like our program was 6th to 8th grade, and these are the years that if you're going to join, you join around those years. You don't start joining in high school. You're conditioned to almost wanting to join in elementary, but you're finding your identity group. Oh yeah, that early.
Really?
Yeah, you're thinking
why is that?
Because it's all around you. See,
yeah.
If you live in gang-infested neighborhoods where the gang member is the boss of the street,
right?
They're the ones with the money. That's what you're looking up to. That's your protection.
It's a control mechanism too.
Right. And gangs are not bad people. These guys are nice guys. So they're not like gun-toting killers. Some of these guys are just regular guys. They happen to be in the gang and they're beloved in the community. You know, they're not what the movies will show.
Sure.
No, I made a movie called We Die Young explaining that.
Right.
Those two kids,
Exactly. It's about survival and it's about what can we own? What can we control? So we show them who we try to help them redefine and identify who they really are. And we try to teach them some of that history. Because one thing young people don't like, street smart kids don't want to be trapped. They don't want to be hoodwinked, right? So if you teach them this criminal justice system, there are traps in it. And you're not going to be treated like
traps upon traps.
The guy in Beverly Hills. You're going to be treated differently. If you treat them, don't get trapped by that. And show them the role models and the people who not necessarily famous, who came up from the same communities and they succeeded.
Smart.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but in working with them, what are we doing? We have to teach them skills. We're skill building.
Correct.
How do you control your anger? I mean,
sports.
That anger, sports.
But also education.
No, most definitely education. So some of these kids, they're straight Fs. They're in these toxic environments. They don't know how they're going to get home from school without getting jumped or beat up or harassed. They can't eat. They're hungry. It's hard to even focus.
Of course.
And a lot of them don't even have the special needs education things in those schools, those poor schools. So I saw an improvement. Where I saw the most improvement is when we just simply supported them with their homework, just simply made education fun. So the program I was with, a big component was the academic support, because as soon as they saw an F go to a C, they're like, whoa, I'm smart.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, oh, I want to do that again. And then we're rewarding them for that. And then we're, so it's a lot that goes into it. Some of them need mental health. We connect them with that. Some of them had never gone to the beach. They had been they grew up in the hood for 7, 8, 9 years. They never
seen the sand in the ocean.
Never just like hung out there for the whole day.
It's not their area.
So getting them into nature, getting them to think about what do you want to do, because they're thinking about, I'm going to die before I'm 30, because I know 10 people who died. So why should I?
They're relating themselves to that. Yeah.
Right. Why?
They know the database of their life.
So we put something else in their head. Oh, you want to be an accountant? You're good at math. What are the paths to get there? Now let's work on that. They're not working on their lives like kids with 2 parents living in a nice house with tutoring, and they're not working on their lives like that.
Yeah.
But then basically the solution of that is to have more people like you. I mean, you stop because it's many years, but think about it.
The solution is multi-layered too. It's having policies, federal and state policies.
But imagine if the policy is saying we have to pay people like you more money.
Right.
I mean, or the teacher are badly paid. They get insulted.
But again, it's more than just a worker. It's affordable housing. It's better educational systems.
Right.
It's not criminalizing. Guys in jail for life for marijuana. Now the government's making money on marijuana. All just snap of a finger, right?
It's so
So snap of a finger, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, there are a lot of things that to address family and the resiliency and the empowerment of a family. More than just I'm one thing, but we want to make it where you don't need a bunch of me's trying to, we want to make it where I'm not even.
It's the mental state. It goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
But I was going to change that.
It's institutional. Well, you know what? Everyone has a lane.
Right.
I can't be in all lanes, right?
Well said.
I have my lane.
True.
We definitely, a lot of people are discouraged about voting, and not just voting, but they say, focus on your state politics. That's the best thing. You know, even when you look at the criminal justice system, the federal institutions are a smaller percentage than the state institutions. We have to be informed and educated. What kind of judges are we putting? What kind of prosecutors are we putting in there?
Sure.
What's the governing body to improve the schools? Like, it's education. But again, when you have people that are trying to find a biscuit to eat, they're not thinking about all that other stuff, right? They're trying to survive.
Goes down to basics, exactly.
So all I can do in order to not lose my brain is my lane is the preventative youth family development lane. That's my lane. You know what I'm saying?
It's a smart lane.
And other people are in the political lane. Other people are in the policy lane. So, you know, sometimes if you think about all of it, you'll get so discouraged. You just feel like hopelessness. And I have to say, if I can help 10 families, beautiful.
Absolutely.
I can't. But personally, I like to be involved in different aspects of finding the solution.
The youth programs you work with are very important because it's the basic foundation of growth.
Well, it's like it's but again, we have to work on this society to become a more equitable society as well. It has to be more equitable.
I agree.
Because everyone's not going to find their way out of this mess, you know?
I agree. There's a lot of people, too.
And in all that mess, we have a bigger mess. It's like life himself, you know, like it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. We've been, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but we are near the end of the cycle, human cycle. It's not doing well around the world, we talk.
Yeah.
But I've been traveling. It's not like it's supposed to be.
People are apathetic, they're indifferent, and we have normalized death and destruction, and we've normalized it. I mean, things happen, and people are like, "Oh, that's over there," you know.
Exactly right.
But
it's
if you look at
planets, we all share it.
But I think a lot feeds that. You know, just the violence is entertainment, violence is video games. I mean, a lot feeds why we're so.
You're totally correct. That
complacent.
The PC and all that stuff.
We're just
I said to my wife, when that stuff will come out, the internet,
it's
the
a conditioning. We're conditioned.
Nobody talk to each other anymore. Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
Yeah, it becomes more distant. It's so true.
And we don't have government that's looking out for the poor and the middle class. I don't care. We just don't. You know, it's.
The proof is in the pudding.
And I think that's why when you're looking at these elections, people are trying to find revolutionary type presidents. They're tired of people being in the middle with the same old stuff. You know, we have presidents who have governed in the middle, and where has that gotten us? There's still inequality. I mean, they say there's more money being made, but the rich are just not sharing it, right? Mm. It's not like there's a lack of money. Mm. And then we live in a war economy.
It's stagnant.
You know, it's 600 and something billion goes to war, and maybe 190 billion goes to human services. That's lopsided.
I know. And
we have the money, but it's a war economy.
For people to know, but it sounds crazy, we have, don't quote me, but I believe I'm right, we have for 1,000 or 10,000 times enough power to blow the earth in terms of nuclear. Yeah. Not 100. 1,000, but it's 10,000 times. So they have to produce weapon. I don't know where they're stuck then.
But who presses the button on the weapons? If you
nobody will press. I don't think so. They will do a micro before that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you work on humanity, if you work on people understanding and loving each other more,
oh my God.
And if you give services where people don't want to destroy each other, and anger comes from oppression and injustice, and oppression is on a spectrum, you know.
Yeah,
sure. You push people into the corner. Kids in the
hood are oppressed in these schools that are like prisons. They are. That's suppression and oppression on a certain level. So if you're not going to feed into people's thinking, then we're going to be quicker to press that button, and we're going to be quicker to hate each other.
Yeah, we want to go more in depth. We're just surface material right now.
You're feeding into war.
And you're so concerned about this. Mm-hmm. What is your concern about also? As a question from me to you, ecology, environment.
It's incredibly important. You know, we have a president in America right now who doesn't believe in it. You know, I mean, the world is coughing up. I mean, I could remember being 5, 6, 7 years old, and there wasn't major hurricanes every year. There wasn't major fires in LA. I lived in LA since '85. We did not have these fires every summer.
No.
Yeah.
We just didn't.
We're way
you know?
over. We're 20 million people.
Right. I mean, it's
And the
it's
float.
it's.
And all that stuff.
I mean, the experts have proven. The experts have proven what's going on with the world.
Right.
And-
It's
and-
database stuff. I mean, if you ask a AI, it will let you know
Right.
exactly when is the
But
end.
again, but if you have governing bodies who are
calculate.
not going to fund policies that can protect the earth, then and again, states do more than the government does. The federal, you know what I'm saying? The states can do. States have to take.
Individualistic.
Yeah, states are going
As
to
a
have
mass.
to take the lead in that.
There's so many good people out there like yourself, like that have a vision of basic understanding. There's no secret to this. It's not a thing that we need to discover. It just is truth.
This election coming up will tell us a lot about where most people are at. It really will. It's going to tell us a lot. I think no one knows. No one can say, I have these friends that say, Trump is definitely going to win. I'm going, okay. You don't know that. We don't know, but it'll be a good litmus test to see where people are at, how they're going to vote.
Could you maybe give us a little insight on some of the people you've worked with and the lives you've helped change for the better?
Well, I'll say, let me give you an example. We work closely with actual parents, right?
Okay.
Because the parents are the key, really. You could help a kid act right with you, and then they get home and they're back in that same environment.
Totally correct.
So this is just a cute story, real quick. This kid was
please.
going to get kicked out of school. I heard the dean said they were going to kick him out of school. I pleaded, can you have him enroll in our program? This is a program I used to be a part of. I'm not there anymore. Can you have him enroll in our program so he doesn't get kicked out of school? Because if he goes to another school, he has to cross gang lines, and it could be dangerous for him.
Life-threatening. Yeah.
So we enrolled him, and it was rough. It took me about a month to kind of build a rapport with the family, and then the rapport went on. But his mother was on drugs. He was living with his grandmother who had breast cancer. It was just a bad situation. Yeah. His biggest thing was profanity. I mean, every other word was a cuss word. And we tried to, say, hey, when you're in our class, you can't swear. And actually, he acclimated to that rule pretty quickly with us because he felt love from us.
There it is.
He was like, okay, the teachers aren't treating me like you treat me. So he really was trying to work on that rule. And then we're trying to say, okay, you got to transfer that to the classroom because they're going to kick you out. Well, long story short, I'm talking to the grandmother on the phone for like an hour. And this kid comes in the house that we're working with from our program. And she goes, oh, he just came home. So he did something wrong. And then she cussed him out. right, like really bad. And at this point, I had a pretty good rapport with her, and I said, let's just call her Miss Jones for sake of confidentiality. I said, Miss Jones, that's why we can't get him to stop cussing. You're cussing at him, right? So she goes, but I'm the adult. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. So we had this long talk, and I'm like, trust me, Miss Jones. If you stop, he's going to stop. Trust me, you don't want him to get kicked out. So she actually started coming to the parenting class because we couldn't get her to come. And I'm like, just come, please, just come. So finally she came. She really enjoyed it. They ate, they had snacks. They could be free to talk about their troubles. And this youth went from, I'm literally straight F's. He was failing out to C's and B's and maybe 1A.
Good for him.
Nice.
And he graduated. He was happy. He enjoyed the program. It was something he could connect to. He came every day. We were like his extended family.
Beautiful.
And that was his issue, was the cussing, right? Another kid, it might be another issue.
Sure, of course.
It might be another issue. We connected this one youth with her father who was in prison. The mom didn't want her dealing with him because they broke up the crazy way. But she finally agreed, I need help. So the father started helping parenting through letters and phone calls and got involved with her. And she flourished just because she was naturally close to her dad. And he started to connect with her and he was about to get out in like a year. But he started to reconnect with her in a real, substantive way. And she just changed. Everything changed.
That's beautiful.
So, I mean, there are little stories like that, but this is over time. This is not instant stuff. This
Right,
is
of
like
course. It doesn't
1
happen
year, 2
overnight.
years, we're but they have to constantly see us unconditionally loving them. Even when they make a mistake and we have to reprimand them in whatever way that is, sitting them down, counseling with them. come on back to the program. They're not getting kicked out. Someone said something, I don't know who to give this quote to, but I heard it and I loved it. They said, those who get kicked out of places create their own spaces.
That's rad.
Right. Isn't that cool?
And it's so true.
So they're used to getting kicked out, and they're going to create this whole culture.
Yeah.
That's going to rebel against getting kicked out all the time.
It's experience, based on experience.
And right now, Miriam, what is your goal today? What you looking for? Because you look very happy, very strong. That means you have a goal.
Yeah. So, so I was in this work, and the dark side is it can be, if you're not doing self-care, you can burn out. And I think
health is very important.
From 1999 to 2013, I was working directly with youth. I was director for a couple programs, and then I went to the mayor's office of gang reduction and youth development as a regional manager, where we would train the agencies I used to work for. But that mayor's office experience really burnt me out. The politics of it, I couldn't handle it.
A lot of corruption. I know, a lot of lies.
I left, and when I left, my goal was to raise money for my own 3-year pilot. And this is what happened. I developed the program, got the website up, got the crowdfunding site, started doing a couple fundraisers. And it didn't take me until maybe 6 months ago. The reason why I never got it off the ground, I realized that 6 months ago, I was so burnt out. I never took a vacation from 1999 to 2013, if you could believe it, no vacation. Anytime I took time off, it was to go to Chicago to help my grandparents.
Wow.
Because they kind of helped raise me.
Right. Sure.
And now my grandfather's deceased and my grandmother's 89. But I would always this the only thing I would do. So it wasn't a vacation. And I realized I never really fully launched the program back in 2014. Right. Because I just wanted time to myself. Right. I just wanted to travel and just kind of be with me for a moment.
You need to recharge.
Because I would have to go, if I raised the money right away, I would have went right back into the community in direct practice. And my mind was fried. It really was fried. And the mayor's office worked me insanely.
Yeah, that whole sector's hard.
I didn't even have a summers. I mean, it was just horrible. So when I left the mayor's office, I began to do public speaking for social service organizations, mostly for that. Some for Parkinson's, sometimes I talk about my dad, but mostly for agencies working with at-risk populations, whether it's a food bank, a furniture bank, YWCA, the United Way, Boys and Girls Club. And I was able to kind of share my experience as a social worker in South LA and some other stuff I had done, but I was still in the movement, but not doing direct practice.
Right.
So I just recently I feel like, okay, it's time to get that. It's a 3-year pilot based on the work that I've already done, but a program that to me is like a dream program without all the red tape and bureaucracy and politics.
More direct.
Yeah. So me and my business partner, we're Nason Buchanan. Our organization is called DMTL.
Okay.
And those are the initials of his initials and 2 brothers and his mom, who unfortunately were all murdered in Gary, Indiana.
Oh.
And he had this nonprofit when we worked at the mayor's office. When we partnered and we created a whole program. So if you want to see what the program looks like, it's very detailed and defined. It's on DMTLfamily.org. DMTLfamily.org. Right. And that is what the program is. And we're determined, or we really want to raise this money and get started.
That's fantastic.
No later than, he wants to start by August, but realistically, I would say no later than 2021. It's a 3-year pilot of like our dream program.
Phenomenal.
And it's in the same communities I worked in South LA. So I'm still public speaking, but once that gets going, I'll be in the trenches again.
And where do you live right now? In Los Angeles?
Yeah, I live in the Los Angeles area.
How's your private life? Okay.
I'm very private, very.
I mean, you have a boyfriend?
Oh, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single. I was married for 3 years, divorced. But you know what? I'm like so cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
strong. You're strong. You're strong woman.
I'm 51. I'll be 52
Are you
in
look
June.
Younger?
Thank you.
And
you're 51.
Yeah, you look much younger.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I could be married again, but it's God wills that. I'm not out hunting people down.
No.
I walk out of the house looking decent, but I'm not like,
look
I
fantastic.
gotta find a husband. I mean, my life is very fulfilled, and I love family and friends, and
We can feel that.
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm cool.
When you walked in the studio, your energy was very open.
Yes,
Oh,
right
thank
away.
you.
So we're gonna have fun with the
Thank
lady.
you.
Yeah.
Right. And also, it's not easy for you to leave because you're not in the. You're not in the. You're totally different business like my son. But people, they want to know this. I mean, your father was known, still will be known for the rest of humankind. But you're doing some very special stuff that your father will be unable to do, that I will be unable to do. But even though that, sometimes lots of people, they're approaching you because your father is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And you
I get
I
that.
really don't get that a lot.
no, you know, huh?
Because you
I
put up,
get
you
it.
put
I
up
want
a
to
very
ask-
Well,
independent
you know
barrier,
what?
probably.
People, honestly,
ask a question.
this
Yeah.
is the real,
important for
honest
me.
to God
Yeah.
truth. People don't recognize me. The people who normally can notice my face are African American men.
No, you know what? I can see
No, you
your
can.
eyes.
I'm just saying, when I walk the globe
Right.
and I'm out and
Oh,
about,
I got you.
people don't say Ali's daughter.
Okay.
The only people that might pay attention
'Cause they love
are
it. They see what
men
I do.
who grew up in that era.
Yes.
That followed my family in
Yes.
black magazines. Because
Yes.
on black magazines, we grew up in those magazines.
Yes.
Ebony and Jet.
Yeah.
You know, from time, so they notice, but people don't. So I live a private life. My
Bless
sister
you.
Layla
That's
probably
great.
gets a lot of that.
Yes,
The
yes.
one who boxes and is kind of a celebrity.
Yes, yes.
She gets that. But my life is private. And I don't mind telling people no, or, you know, if they want to agitate me, or you should be doing this. And, you know, I'm not the one. I will come right back at you.
It's good though.
Yeah, I protect my space. I respect you, but don't
So-
disrespect me.
Of course. That's
Since we know
wonderful.
your age, what is
Right.
your Chinese sign?
I don't know. Chinese?
it's
Monkey, maybe? I think I'm a monkey.
Yeah, the monkey. I'm a rat.
I'm a monkey, yeah.
So that's very good because monkey and rat are best sign because
Okay.
Oh,
monkey
that's your-
are very
your friend
intellectual,
Ben.
Okay.
like John
Your friend
Williams.
Ben
yeah, I
was
think
about-
someone
Yeah,
told
yeah,
me
yeah.
monkey. I don't know what that means,
they're
but
good writers.
Oh,
they're
okay.
good with
The most intellectual Chinese zodiac sign.
all right, I'm
And the rat
intellectual.
always jump in the right time when the boat is sinking.
Got a street smart instinct.
But you need the monkey to tell him, how am I supposed to use a trampoline, you idiot?
That's
My
hilarious.
Chinese zodiac sign is the rabbit. It's the
Yeah.
most
That-
loving and cuddly sign.
cuddly. I get that from you. I get that from
I like
you.
to respect everybody in the room. You know.
That's nice.
And the month you were born? With,
June 18th.
I like my father, Gemini.
Yeah, but I'm a sane one.
You are?
Bring it in.
No, I'm telling
Bring it
you,
in.
because there's some that's woo.
Yeah,
Off of, there's some that are off the charts.
Your father, my grandfather, very sane Gemini. There are some Geminis
There's
that are off the
some,
charts. I
woo.
know. And I have my
I'm
ups and
afraid to
downs.
tell
but
people.
No, it's true. I'm a Taurus rising Gemini, May
Oh,
20th,
okay,
first day.
okay.
First day. Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't studied it or don't really know
Me
it well,
neither,
but,
me neither, but
I
it's
like
but
the-
there are some similarities.
I
There's some
like the
similarities.
astrology from China because it's kind of very resembling. They go with the moon and they have the metal of rat, fire, water, and earth. So if
Interesting.
you have a guy called Li Kai-shing in
Okay.
China who's very powerful and very rich.
Very.
And he take a lawyer, if you are a lawyer of metal, and it's a case against me, I'm going to take a sign of fire who can melt.
Interesting.
Who can melt the metal, and then I've got another lawyer with the sign of water to
Yeah.
clean the place, and he do his business
That's
like that.
crazy.
And he's a multi-billionaire.
Well, my
works
guidance
for him.
is Islam, so that's what I follow. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You follow the Quran,
Oh yes,
which is
yes.
the oldest religion.
No,
on
it's not
earth.
the old-
you
well,
talk about Sumerian. You want to go?
it's
a Quran, and was the
It's not
Judaism.
the oldest book, but it's Muslims believe that all prophets practice Islam.
Yeah, the
But
old-
the
I
book
think-
is not the oldest book.
No, I believe the first book will be the one they put on the walls. You know, the first grammar of the Sumerian Empire, which was 3005 before Christ, and then they discovered Mesopotamia, and apparently Muslim was the first religion. Then the Judaism, Gospel, Orthodox, and all the stuff.
It's all love, really.
It is.
You know,
Yeah,
like a
it's-
round table, like the shape of the
two
earth.
brother,
it's round.
two brother from the same father.
Well-
That's what it is.
Yeah.
One did go this way, that way. So I explain it's very
the very
difficult.
foundation, right. Of that history at least.
And also everyone has their
And
own
that's why
faith on
Of course,
that whole.
of course.
Me, I have a faith
I
of
share it all. I
everybody.
love it all.
I know when I do something right to
Yeah.
people.
No. What I'm
and I know
saying
when
is the historical context of all that. Everyone has their
Everything's
own.
we need-
rewritten.
but-
Well, that's what it is that's people. That's as individuals, we have a right to choose.
Right.
Sure.
We have a right to choose what our faith is, what the history is, what we actually believe in.
That's the beautiful
It's just
part.
respecting other people's rights.
Right.
And it's not that hard to do,
Yeah,
really.
without oppressing people.
And
Exactly.
also,
I
religion
agree.
is good because
Right.
it keeps you very kind of healthy,
Yeah.
clean. The
Yeah.
religion, they tell you have to eat
The religion
well,
is fine, is what people put on religion. That's what's the
Yes.
bad part.
Yes,
right?
yes,
They,
yes.
it's like
people.
you write notes on top
It's not
of
the
the
religion,
script.
it's people,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. It's opinions upon opinion, layers, a lot of layers. Could you tell us a bit about, as a musician, female rapper
Right.
in the late '80s, early '90s? How was that? That must have been interesting.
I mean, I was on a journey to be positive.
Sure.
My first video, if you look on YouTube, Life's a Test, May Ali, you'll see my first video. When I enter his mind, you'll see it. I'm like so young, like 20 years old.
Wow.
But I actually have the Quran in my first video. It was almost like gospel
cool.
rap. I talk about it was
Cool.
called Life's a Test. And I'm saying what we're doing, we're being tested for the true life.
True.
So they weren't ready for that. They didn't want that. They were like, "This is not what rap is going to be." But that's
you
what
made a
I.
rap
That's
like
what
that? That's unusual.
I don't remember the lyrics to it, but it's called. You pull it up and
Absolutely.
So that's what I was about, and I said, I'm still. How am I going to fulfill my journey if it's not going to be through entertainment, which is fine for me because I really wasn't into the entertainment culture.
I can tell by the way you speak. You're more.
yeah.
Like the guy from the Green Book.
Yeah.
He did have his own style.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw the Green Book, right?
Yeah,
And at
it
the
was
end,
good.
he
Yeah,
gave it to the
it was
audience
excellent.
by excellent.
But so that's I was on that journey, and I didn't, it's and as I got older, I studied my religion more, and I'm like, this isn't. No, so I write short poems. Sometimes I'll put them up on Instagram.
Very
My
cool.
Instagram, I write
Like your
poetry.
father too, wrote poems?
Yeah, he was that. I kind of maybe
Really?
get that from him
That's
because I
right.
love
Yeah.
poetry.
Yeah, genetics, for sure.
I love poetry. I'll get inspired and come up
But
with
he was
something
always-
in 5 minutes.
But he was
Yeah.
always
Beautiful.
on a classy way.
Yeah.
He never was, I'm going to kick you.
Oh, yeah.
Not like today. He was
Well,
always
just-
on a classy
Well, he
way,
was just
on a
marketing
fun
his
way,
fights and
but on a
entertaining.
beautiful way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you enjoyed
It
it
was
too. It
non-threatening.
was
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
a handsome
Yeah.
boy. I mean, handsome
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
When I say,
Very,
me
very
what do I
charming.
talk?
Yeah, yeah.
Handsome
of course.
guy. I love him.
My girlfriend's big on poetry.
Yeah.
I was going through her high school album, and half of the album was poetry she wrote. And I read
Yeah.
some, and I had said, "Wow, it's a lot inside."
Yeah, my dad's memorial, I said I just want to, in his honor, do a poem. So my whole time I spoke was just a poem about him
Beautiful,
and how he fathered us.
beautiful.
That's when-
How was that?
I mean,
I'm sure you get that question a lot. I
what's
do too.
interesting? I actually didn't cry at the memorial. I cried at the gravesite. The tears, and if people can relate that are listening, it's afterwards. It's like when everything settles.
Yeah.
And you're used to visiting your parent or calling them, and 3, 4 months, 6 months. It was almost worse 6 months from the funeral than it was the same day.
I have a friend of mine. He said, my
know?
father died. I didn't cry. I don't know why. He said, what? And 3 years, not 6 months.
Yeah, I
3
mean,
years later.
Bam! Yeah, I didn't say before, but
Alex.
after, like 6 months after.
Yeah,
it was
because
just,
you wanted to be polite and you wanted to show
Well,
people.
it hits
but
you.
it
The thing
hits
is,
you
it
later.
hits you.
Tell me.
Yeah,
Because
just-
my parents still alive, thank God.
Yeah, it hits you. Yeah, you
It
never,
hits you bad, huh?
The memory of your, but I mean, it didn't. I never felt depressed to the point of wanting to hurt myself or hopeless. Because again, in my faith, death is something everyone has a date.
Of course.
And I think my dad, we were happy he lived 74 years.
God bless.
He lived over 30 years of Parkinson's. I thought he might be gone in 60 something, so to have him that long. Yeah. But the way we perceive death, it's not to, ruin your life in this life. You're not, your faith is
So
very.
you believe in another entity, another
Yeah.
frequency,
Well,
another...
we believe in a hereafter. We believe
Yes.
in an afterlife that's eternal based
Same
on
here. Yeah.
how you live this life. And
I believe that
we
something
believe
else
that.
is there because I know too many people have been in a so many clinics, but recently with my mama and my papa, heart surgery, she's 85 years old. And lots of people, I talk to surgeon, hey, what about the out-of-body experience? Did you have some patient, because 3,000 heart surgery, this guy 2,000. I said, JC, some people, they came back and they told us the full procedure. Where I was, where he was, and they were flying above the room.
There's stories I know
And
like
they were
that too.
they were sucked into something else, but they fought to come back.
Right.
I believe
So
that.
I have had
So you
I know
go somewhere.
nurses who
Yeah.
I know, most definitely. They
were GPS,
they
the
have
surgery.
those stories. And
Wow.
this radio
surgeon.
show is what you fight for. I want to get this in before we are out of time.
Thank
also,
you.
I also
no,
like
take your
to.
time.
I
No
also
rush.
like
She's protecting
to,
us. No, she's
No, I'm just saying. I want to
Yeah.
get this in.
Yes.
I'm also an advocate for Parkinson's.
Yes.
So every year there's a great event in New York called the Parkinson Unity Walk, and if you go to ParkinsonAlliance.org, you can see it. But it's all the organizations, Michael Fox organization, all the foundations are part. They all get together in New York. It's usually the last Saturday in April. But if you know somebody with PD or Parkinson's, they do great research. All the money goes to research.
Wonderful.
Wow.
It's a great. I've been with this organization for a long time.
But you're busy nonstop then, like you be.
Well, yeah, that's just
24/7.
that's in April, but it's go to the Parkinson Alliance, and in LA, Team Parkinson runs the marathon for Parkinson. So if you're in Los Angeles and you want to get a part of, you want some information, and you want to find some information about groups, because my father, when he started learning about that disease, he was better. He started his quality of life improved, and a lot of people live with disease in isolation. It's just not what you
Right,
do.
they know that they're not the only one.
And Parkinson's
Right.
is kind of disease where the more you know, the better you can get. You can manage your symptoms better with more information.
Of course.
So I just want
course.
to give a shout out to Team Parkinson,
Please.
based in LA, and Parkinson Alliance, based in Princeton, but they're all over and they do great research.
How long have you been with the organization?
Oh man, since 97, maybe
Wow.
98.
Yeah, all the way
I mean, we want
Good
to
for
work
you.
ourselves out of a position. We want a
course.
cure for this, but
Do you know of, going back to the youth programs, Miriam, do you know one named New Earth by any chance?
New Earth, that sounds familiar. Is it in Los Angeles?
They are. They're based
Okay.
out in, I believe it's by El Segundo, the Howard Hughes Center.
You have a lot of agencies that address
course,
the
of
issue.
course, of course,
Matter
of
of fact, LA is one of the leaders in addressing juvenile delinquency prevention and gang intervention
Really?
on
That's
a
great.
very broad way. They have like a citywide. The grid office, the mayor's office, has a citywide initiative where in the highest gang or in the highest violent areas, they have free services for gang intervention and prevention. So the prevention is trying to get the kids that are high risk and putting them in the program. The intervention are the guys who are actual gang members that may be vulnerable enough to get out.
Yeah.
And ex-gang members help them do that. So if you're in LA and you want that information, go to the mayor's office. It's the Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development, and find out where those programs are.
Like, for example, in Chatsworth with Dr. Petrus. He's an old man, an old psychologist.
Therapist, yeah. It's the
Therapist.
clinical
Let's do it
psychologist.
for free.
Clinical psychologist.
3
Excellent.
times a week in Chatsworth, and
That's
you take those
good.
young
That's
gangsters,
great.
Oh, yes,
young
that's right,
gangsters,
yeah.
young kids.
Well, yeah.
At Rancho
I mean,
San Antonio.
I know.
gangsters.
Yeah.
I was a gangster when I was on the street.
thing is,
When I keep-
with this world, where it's
whenever
free, it's
a
free
gangster,
speech,
not
but you
not
have
a
to watch
gangster.
every word these days because everyone's trying to
Yeah, I'm
pounce on you for every little thing you
Yeah,
say.
I'm from Belgium, so I don't
It's
care.
like-
I know.
It's like
That's
it's
why I
so
live in Simi
crazy.
Valley with my pops right now.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's
Yeah,
like you
because-
say one thing.
Yeah. Yes,
It's like-
yes,
Because
yes,
in
yes.
China, they say one thing for this person,
Yeah.
one thing for this person. You don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, they know. But I wanted to come back to something very special about
Spencer.
Miriam. No, I was talking about something. You see what happened when you become
Yeah,
old?
you can't.
No,
throw,
you're fine. We'll,
and once you
sure.
get 50, you're not going to remember what you thought about
How
a
do you know
second
my age?
ago.
I was 41.
I'm older than you.
It's really cool that you work with all these different youth social areas. It's so important, Miriam. I know this, and I can relate to you in a lot of ways because my girlfriend works with youth, social youth programs.
great.
And she's very big on it. She goes every Thursday and Tuesday to New Earth. That's why I mentioned
nice.
it. And she goes and helps the kids and helps them work with schoolwork,
really
sports. She's very athletic, so it's
Is she a volunteer?
She's a volunteer.
Oh, that's good.
She does it out of her
New Earth,
goodwill.
nice.
Yes, check them out. They're
Very good.
They're a small program, but they're doing well. So
That's good. They're in Culver City?
Yes, off of Sawtell and I forget
I know.
the 20.
I used to live in that area.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. It's a nice area. It's nice.
It's real nice.
It's very nice.
Too expensive, but yeah.
Everything.
Everything is ridiculous.
The tech industry is running down.
You know what
we
they
live in
said?
a simi. We live in a simi.
You know what they said? They said since 2010, I just heard this, the rents and everything has been going so high that in any city, if you make minimum wage, you cannot afford the average one bedroom. That's a horrible state of America.
It's ridiculous.
You cannot afford the average one bedroom on minimum wage. That's ridiculous. One bedroom apartment, that's like the basic.
You go to Texas, you can, but
it's
out here in LA or California, let alone.
It's bad.
What was crazy, I have a friend in Belgium, he's in construction, he's very wealthy, and he fly a charter plane with all his friends, and they cross from New York to LA, America. Oh, I love New York. And he said, but the Midwest, you see people on the street, no money, nothing. You think America, it's LA and New York. No, America,
Miami
it's that big valley, big valley between. Those are the guys who go to war without even asking any questions. Right or wrong, they go. And those people, they need help. America, people think it's LA and New York. America is the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
big
the
X
real
factor, you know?
American people who are suffering more and they're less organized in terms of medicine, insurance than in Europe.
It's very true.
And Europe suffer more economically than America.
The rich sold us out. You know, they're not sharing the wealth. They're not upping these salaries. They're not, when that income comes in, that consumerism comes in, they are not sharing that dollar, and that's what it's all about. They're just not doing it.
It's got to give back.
Yeah, and it's
a lot of we had the honor to have Terrell Owens on our show recently, and also Matthew Hatchett, two NFL wide receivers, amazing guys, and they do a lot for the youth social works as well.
That's good.
They're wonderful people, and I'm so happy to have you on the show to talk about this because we need, like my father said earlier, we need more people like yourself.
And I just want
in their correct lane.
Thank you so much.
Course.
And I just want to give one more link. Can I?
Please,
absolutely,
2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
Since we are on
time.
a drive to raise money, if you're interested, when you go to dmtlfamily.org and see what we're doing, if you like what the program looks like, you can go to charity.gofundme.com/DMTL We used to be Crowdwise, but GoFundMe bought Crowdwise. So
that's right.
now it's charity.gofundme.com/DMTL family. That's our funding. You can
Then
do it
people can go on there and they can see everything you're doing.
They could go to dmtlfamily.org and see what the program is.
Right.
They could, donate there too, but the crowdfunding site probably is more secure. I would use the crowdfunding site.
Got you.
So
and it's nice to know that. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine, Dad.
It's nice to know that you said that all the money is going. Because a lot of. Do you know like only 5% of the charity are checked a year in America? So 95% of the charity they can get free. For you to know that, huh? You don't know that? You should know that from America. 5%. That's why they have so much charity.
Oh, really? That's why.
That's why you make the most money. You have to declare nothing, but it's always the same one who get checked, and the big one. I don't want to talk about this on podcast. You know what I do after my program?
I have one question for you, and I know you get this all the time.
Two questions. Throw them 2 or 3.
You still do that split?
I got to warm up those days. I've got to warm up those days.
That was iconic. I think that's what everyone thinks of.
It was a real thing. Are you talking about the Volvo trucks or the actual splits in general?
It was like in a room.
Yes.
And it was like
that's the blood sport between two chairs.
That was I always think of that.
We have that black and white picture up in the gym at home. It's cool. Every time I'm training, I'm stretching. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, but I did dancing. I did ballet for 5 years.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Why it helped me a lot.
I remember that. I remember you saying that. I have
people
a friend.
Make fun of ballet, but
I know I got harassed in school for it too.
I have a friend that used to go to your gym in Gold's in Venice, and she always wanted to say hi, but she never did. So she goes, "Tell him I said hi." Her name is Brenda. So.
Oh, shout out to Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Brenda, we love you.
And you'll probably cross my father at Gold sometime soon.
Yeah.
So.
She's not there anymore, but she was like,
Oh, okay.
I saw Van Damme today. I was like, say hi. He's like, no.
What's
What? I love your.
It's Allah.
Yes.
Meaning, and it says God. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people, I saw that, a lot of people think Allah is God only in Islam.
Right.
But I actually went to a church service I was in
beautiful.
Palestine, actually,
Yes.
about a month ago.
Wow, cool.
And I was at a church service, and they speak Arabic, and even Christians say Allah.
Yeah,
so,
of course, yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, though.
Like Jesus is Joshua.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and you have Joshua in the
in Arabic, he's
yes.
Esau.
Isa. You see, a whole different name of.
But anyway,
That's
this says
beautiful.
Allah. It's a
Right.
charm.
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you so
And then
much.
you're having one prophet who was able to talk to the animals. What's his name?
Was it Solomon?
Yes.
Yes.
Solomon.
You know the religion.
Suleiman in Arabic.
That's
yeah.
right.
Look, let me get out of here. He knows his stuff.
I know you're
No,
good.
animals so much.
Always welcome on
He's
the round
the first
table.
Dr. Doolittle.
yes.
My father connects with animals like
That's
no other human being
good.
I've
That's
seen.
good.
It's true.
You wanna-
We have like eight. Oh,
one more. Okay.
Yeah, no,
you
you're right.
got time?
You have
Okay.
such a
Absolutely.
wonderful, such a
Absolutely.
wonderful
Thank you.
smile.
Yeah, there's no
Thank
need to
you.
rush anything that's
Okay.
naturally beautiful.
All right.
Absolutely. But you know, I know I'm going to keep saying this, but and I get this a lot too, Miriam. You know, I get asked, "Oh, what's it like to have Jean-Claude Van Damme as a father?" And I just tell them, "Well, it's my father." You know, it's,
Right.
And what he teaches me, I respect and I honor, and I go from there. And I've seen the decisions he's made, and I go accordingly. And there's also my mother. You know, we all have a mom
Right.
and a grandma. I was raised by my
Right.
grandparents, his parents.
Okay.
But that being said, based
Me
on
too.
yeah, no, because you
My
said it
maternal
earlier.
grandparents raised me, so we're old souls.
It's beautiful.
Because of
Yeah,
that.
exactly correct.
Yeah, but
Exactly
sometimes
correct.
I would like to be a mama to be able to give them, to tell them, hey guys, you know, because a father cannot do, always
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
badly. I'm a bad guy. I mean, because of the
no,
father. But sometimes the mama has to say something
Yeah,
to the kids.
that's true.
Yes, it's
That's
good.
true.
Good to have some.
And me also, when he was young, I took advantage of him. I wrestled him. I was always winning. You know, I took him. I say, you see, I'm the anaconda of the jungle.
so funny.
And I
Yeah,
put-
he was like, you know,
Is
like
it- do you have-
200
I put a
pounds.
piece of paper like that, hold my hands, but he was
Yeah,
only
it was
13 years old. I said, I know, look at him. Because of
okay,
that,
all right.
he
Well, I
don't
love
want
that you guys
no
have-
anaconda.
Got some
I
sweat
love
stains.
that
I'm so
you all
sorry.
have this show together. It's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, it brings us together,
Oh,
and
it's awesome.
It's something that we sometimes we feel maybe it's a late blooming thing, but you honored your father, and you still honor your father so much.
He's so
and
respectful.
through your
Such a polite guy. And
He's a rabbit. That's why.
That's why?
get a little radar eyes going.
But that's great.
Yeah, it's just I respect the position you're in, Miriam. I know what it's like. I do. Believe me, I can relate a lot to it. What your father said to you when you were young, those little secret things that he said to you mean so much to you, and I can feel it even if I never met your father. My father had to have the honor to listen to that and now meet you and put two
And
and two
also on
together.
TV. It's great. You have to see his show on TV, how funny he is. On
Really?
TV. Oh, and then him with that reporter, or his name was always fighting.
Howard Cosell.
Yeah, and at the end,
Yeah, that's what's what
should
I
be
love,
a movie on that.
What I love about that he was so recorded and accessible is that you can go on YouTube and he spoke for himself. You know, people try to speak for him, but you can go on YouTube and he spoke for himself about things.
That's
so
why people
it's
listen.
kind of hard to speak for him in a certain way because you can go back and go, that's not what Muhammad Ali thought. You know?
I see.
Yeah.
There's a special way. Yeah.
What would you like to see in the world based on what your father told you?
You know what?
change.
I'm going to say two things that if they existed, it would be a domino effect. It would be a domino effect of how environments can just be the way I think God hoped it would be.
Sure.
And if these two things could happen, a lot of other things would happen.
Sure.
Racial and religious equality. Period. If there's no form of supremacy of any kind, we're not going to have, it's not going to inform policy, it's not going to inform institution, it's not going to inform, structure. If we really had that, everything will be based on equality. And racial equality and inequality is underestimated. You look at India, light and dark, this country, you look, and then if we didn't have that, then you're gonna, you go to places, other countries where people all look alike and there's oppression, but it's based on their religion.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Or let me add national, racial, religious, and national equality. Because then you can't do nation. It can this whole nation state. It's a revolution on nation supremacy. My nation is better than yours. If those three things can be accomplished, then you've solved 99% of the problem.
But I think, Miriam, it's also a question of when I go to the Middle East, I behave like a Middle East guy. When I go to Israel, I behave like an Israel guy. When I go to Europe,
it's okay to respect culture, but that's right.
With the culture is the key of opening the relationship. And some kids here, it's not their fault. They don't have the culture because we didn't teach them the culture. So I'm advising people like I did. I left school at the age of 13, and I was missing information. I was a dumb guy, dumb. Like,
some sort of knowledge.
I succeed street like the kids you're teaching how to change, and I was lucky. But then I was enough of Hollywood and all that. All your bullshit, okay, guys?
Right.
So I look at my eyes, bullshit.
Right.
And I left to Hong Kong, and for 7 years, I was on YouTube nonstop, and I sponged so much education. So the only good thing, not the only good thing, take advantage of the information of today, even the poor kids, to the culture.
Right. But this is the thing, though, and the reason why I answered the way I answered is that we should be able, in the Quran, it says, God created us different to learn one another and to know each other.
Right.
And I should be able to be culturally who I am in a different culture and respect it.
Absolutely.
Right? I shouldn't have to go into a place and say, okay, this place, they're supreme, so I got to shed my culture.
You should not have to do that.
You have to know the culture, not to shed the culture.
You can know it. That's
Agreed.
Fine. No, that's a whole different conversation. I'm just saying if we respect one another, of course. You come into a mosque, you got to cover your hair because it's the rules.
Sure, take off my shoes, everything, absolutely.
You go to Japan, I take my shoes off.
You got to take your shoes off, right. So I agree with you on that. But still, if you get rid of a mindset that says you're better, you're not going to worry about that.
No, forget about that.
You're going to be able to go to another country and say, oh, I have to take off my shoes here? Fine.
Yeah, no
you
problem.
know what I'm saying?
Of course, it's absolute respect.
That's why I say those type of things, true equality, there will be no room to say I'm better than you.
And we have it in our households at home. And it's the simplest thing. You come to a friend's house. Oh, by the way, guys, shoes off, please.
My shoes are off.
No, in a nice way. And in China, you drink tea, for example. You have to take left hand. You have to turn the tea like this. But if you do that one time on a Chinese business dinner, take the tea, you go 1, 2 like them. They go, our culture. I love that. He appreciate our culture.
Right,
like when I go...
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, when I go to every country in the world, I do exactly what they do, and they love me for that. Oh, I feel like I know you for years. I said, not really. I think it's the culture, right? Yeah.
And you want to respect the culture, like you're saying. You want to adapt to understand why, but you also respect it at the same time. And I go back to the house thing. You can relate to it. I have carpets at home that are expensive. Not me personally, in general. You don't want stains on those carpets because it costs a lot of money to fix them, right? Or get them clean. So people can relate to that. Say, hey, you know what? I wouldn't want that in my house either. So why can't we apply that basic understanding to what you're saying? There's a respect. Come in my house, respect. I come in yours, respect.
I just think the root of, they say root of money, the root of evil is money. I think the root of evil is just thinking because you're something, you are better. Even in most people that work jobs, they hate their boss. They hate their job. Why? Because someone at that job is not treating them with respect. Someone at that job is saying, I'm the CEO. I can just demean you, talk to you anyway because you're a case manager. I'm a supervisor. It happens. I'm a celebrity. You're not. I'm rich. You're not. It's a thought process of I am better for a reason.
Based on a position.
And that is just
that's weaker than being yourself.
If we can get rid of that, we get rid of all the other problems. I'm just saying.
It's ridiculous because it's based on this piece of paper.
Right. Yeah. We can put this group of people by toxic water and power lines because they're nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's all based on our group deserves better than that group. I don't care how you look at it. That is like the root of the evil.
Right.
And we have to use the money towards the better of it. Absolutely.
That's the root.
Yeah.
And also to know who we are. So we go to the right direction in terms of business, because like she said, the lady or the NFL guy, the guy played for years, he was no good on that specific, and he did something else, he was brilliant.
Right.
But sometimes we have to search ourselves, why am I good to be successful? Right. Even though worse problem for you than the others, but at least if he know what he's doing, comparing another person who's very advantaged in society than this gentleman, but if you know what he's doing, at least he will have a chance to succeed a little faster, right?
And we should all be given that chance to do that. It's just awareness, really.
To know who we are, because I know I cannot do it. I will never be a producer.
Sure, but
I'm like your father. I'm not a champion like him. I don't know how to say no.
Right.
You have a good heart.
No, I don't know. If I see people crying in front of me, please don't cry. What do you need? No, I'm like that type of guy.
I know how to say no.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, when they're crocodile tears, and
I mean, people, you got users out there. You can't be used.
Yes, we do.
Can't be used. I'm gonna put them through the ringer first.
And you've been through enough experience to know and to differentiate.
I truly believe Michael Jackson I was having too much leash around him. This guy, I know this because I met him in Monte Carlo a few times.
I've met him quite a few times.
Such a nice guy, sensitive.
But you know what? I'll just say this, and nothing against God rest his soul. We as adults, we choose who we have around us, and you got to choose who you have around you. Got to choose.
I know, but he was having lots of people around him. I want to be a friend of a friend.
Everybody,
and he's very sensitive.
Very.
I don't know. I mean, you're strong and you see life different than other people. Some people are very emotional. They can do great stuff, but they're very sensitive, Miriam.
You're right.
So
everyone's not strong.
Oh, you know that because your social work.
Some people don't know how to be strong, though. They've been taking advantage of all their life because they're good. They need good people around them, strong people around them like yourself, like my father.
Or a strong wife.
Or a strong partner, absolutely, 100%.
Or a strong husband for a girl who's got so many gifts. No, some women have big gifted, lots of women, and they're badly protected in terms of success.
It's not a joke. He's not showing us a joke.
He's hilarious.
I tell the truth. I'm always straightforward.
We're just going with questions and I'm listening.
I'm just laughing. It's fun.
Oh, you make a question for us?
Yes.
Oh, for him, I'm
so
sorry.
So then we tally in.
Because I asked the worst question.
No, you ask great questions. I'm like
my
formal
English
guy.
will be
You're
subtitle. We'll make them better.
I'm like the typed guy, and you're
by
like
the way,
let me write over that.
Worldwide. This
more real.
This podcast, it goes worldwide.
Nice.
It goes all the way from Tibet.
Very good.
To
Yeah.
Being shown worldwide on an international basis, what advice can you share and give to those out there listening to you?
I'm gonna say something so simple. It's gonna go over. It's probably gonna go over heads. Yeah. It's gonna be very simple.
Okay.
It's just very
simple is better.
Simple.
It has to do with the president.
No.
Oof.
I don't. And this goes back to feeling superior in some way. And I just think this can't be overlooked. And I was looking at the video of the folks in China beating people and groups, mobs beating Muslims and all that, and just vice versa. Muslims doing it to other people, them doing it to Muslims. It doesn't matter who it is, but this just was in the news. Would you want to be beat down, shot or killed, or spit on, or how hard is it just to treat people the way you want to be treated?
It's not that hard if you're aware of it.
Treat people the way you want to be treated. No one wants to be mistreated.
I agree. It's true.
Same with animals.
And
100% correct.
If you are not treating people the way you want to be treated, something's wrong with your brain.
Yep.
Something's wrong with you, and you need to work on that. And you know who you are out there listening.
They have some sick puppy out there.
I understand whether it's whether it's interpersonal in the family, in public. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. When I'm in my car and I see someone desperately trying to get over, I let them over.
Same here.
I'm like, go ahead. Because guess what? I'm like, if I was rushing and I needed to get over,
I'm in Los Angeles.
I want to get over.
I have time. You're right.
And so I just, even in driving, I try to practice that.
I do it on my motorcycle all the time.
Now, it doesn't mean I'm this perfect person. No, I have to check myself. I can lose my temper. I get all that. We're human. Mm-hmm. But check yourself. pray to God for forgiveness and get back on the horse and do what's right.
Amen.
It doesn't mean we're going to fall sometimes and not be human. But when we get to the extreme where we are really preventing someone and suppressing people in their own homes and at work, and just stop it already.
Right.
You know, and you can only identify that and correct that. No one can do that. Your mother, your friend, no one correct that behavior but you. So if you really are saying, we want a better world, and this is not going to be by, ethnically cleansing anyone.
Right.
It's not going to be by getting someone fired. That's not going to make the world better.
Right.
You're part of the problem.
It's an inside job. Individually.
Evolve yourself.
And what's few
and
tips
the
you
whole
can...
thing of this is my personality. That's bull crap. We're moldable. We are moldable.
Of course, we're changeable.
If you're damaged,
It's the beauty of the human.
if we're damaged and you need some counseling, you need to talk to somebody, go do it.
Yeah.
You need to self-identify and make that happen.
Sure.
Because no one can make it happen.
All living
Right.
organisms adapt to
Right.
their environments too. It's the
Right.
same thing. It's the principal issue. Yeah.
And, I had to change some ways about myself. I would have like 4 sisters say, May, you always do this. And after the 4th sister said it, I have like 11 siblings total. My
Beautiful.
father has 9, but with my mom's kids too, it's 11.
It's a beautiful big
And I said to
family.
myself,
Wow.
wow, 3 or 4 of my sisters said the same thing. Let me look into that. And I start looking at myself and saying, I do that. So, people are telling you, you're just not paying attention to what they're saying, right?
100% true.
Yeah, you're
It's
not
true,
paying.
no.
People are saying you're this way, but you're not paying attention.
And you're not taking the time to get off the ego horse to do it.
Get off and improve yourself.
That's exactly. I go through that every day. Every day I
Right.
wake up. Every day I wake up, I ask myself those
And it's
questions.
a struggle. In Islam, it's called jihad. It's the eternal. They want to call jihad terrorism. No, jihad is
Right.
is the eternal struggle.
Yeah.
Because we have those good and evil forces around us, and we're vulnerable to them. And just you have to be tapped in and get yourself together.
Like in this industry, you can be
Right.
a great, like you said, you're not much in the
Right.
industry, but you can be. I live in that world every single
Right.
day as a filmmaker.
Right.
As a filmmaker,
Right.
Miriam, as my father too, it's hard to show your talent and also be polite and strict because there's so much bullshit. And I'm sorry to say
It
it again.
is.
There's so much of it.
Well, it's an evil industry.
And it's up to you to
Strange.
engage or
It's
not.
It's an evil,
Strange.
and
Strange
that's another
dichotomy.
reason
Very
why I
strange
left. I
people.
left. I did a little acting
Very
and
strange
stuff, and I did a little acting and enjoyed it and all that. And
That's great.
It's an evil industry. It was just too
I'm not
much.
saying
It
all
is.
of,
And I
all
was
of
like-
you guys because they're making
No,
a
there's-
reality
no,
on the
there's-
screen. So
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
we
right,
go
right.
in, we can
Right,
relax, we
right.
see movies.
Right.
But
That's why we
I
make
don't
them.
care.
It's
I don't
to-
care what they're saying. They can. I don't mention any name, but not too many actors are smart.
Well,
What?
It just
I'm right.
it's just
So
sensitive.
funny.
I
sensitive
when I
don't
talk,
know.
when I talk to
level.
them, it's all about not all
superficial.
of them, but the
Yeah.
look, the this, the that. That's why I'm in
well,
the
that's the
Simi Valley with the
conditioning.
cops.
Well, that's
I'm in the cops with everybody normal.
That's the conditioning, though. That's the conditioning.
Yeah, but
the thing is,
But there are some
here's-
actors that live in
here's
different
what-
states who aren't in Hollywood,
Exactly,
just like you. They don't want to
exactly.
even be in Hollywood.
Exactly. Like Daniel Day-Lewis,
Right.
Robin Williams is one of
Sandra
them. God
Bullock,
bless his soul.
she lives in a different
Sandra
area.
Bullock. Yeah,
they don't even
100%.
want to be near paparazzi. They don't even want to be near it.
And
That's
then,
like-
you have
that's
some,
like-
and then you have some monster who never die, like Meryl Streep, all those actors. But
Yeah,
lots of actors
big
that just
caliber.
want to be famous.
Yeah.
And then they understand that, wow, fame, it's cool, but it's not that
It's that roller coaster
funny
of
to be
awareness.
famous. No, I want to be an actor. And then you go to that level. But,
Well, fame has a cost,
yeah,
That's
but
why a lot of them aren't
when
happy.
when you're famous after a certain time, you want to hide. I'm not looking to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I will always never refuse a picture. I will
Right.
never ever refuse a picture unless
true.
I don't see it.
It's true.
And same like your papa, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But I like to be on my own, my
Yeah.
family, my
It's because you.
60-something movies.
Yeah.
It's like you with singing and you with acting and me with filmmaking for whatever that's worth. Because I'm not known and but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No,
because
you're not
I know,
okay.
No,
You want-
no,
you're hungry.
let me tell you, I'm okay with that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, Dad. Let me tell you why. Because I know what I do. It makes me happy.
Right.
And you can't.
Well, he loves the process.
I love
Right,
filmmaking.
yeah.
I
You
love the art.
process. Yeah.
And you know
It's
you're gonna
so-
go somewhere, right?
Of course, that's natural. That's the tide. But it's
Well,
like
they
with
say
your business.
sometimes the journey is you're happier than when you land. You get there.
Absolutely.
100%.
Sometimes the journey you're really.
It's like when
Just
you're going
when
to
you make
Disneyland.
it.
You know, you're like,
Right,
oh, we're
right.
going to Disneyland. And you
Right.
get there, you're like, okay, I just had some cotton candy. I went on 4 rides. I want to go home.
They upped the price on Disneyland, by
I
the
don't
way.
go-
They're
I
still
haven't
making it
been in a year or
unaffordable.
two.
How much cost? How much cost?
I just read
Should
that
probably
they
be careful.
actually upped it. It was already unaffordable to the average family, so they raised it even more. It just was in the news last week. They raised the prices already. I think it was like couple hundred. I don't know, but they raised it from a price that was already unaffordable.
It's not the same when Walt built the park.
That's not good for the children and stuff.
Not the same. It's not the same anymore.
No?
He started in a garage. It was different when you saw Bambi.
I got lost in Disneyland. I'm traumatized. I was 5 and my mother lost me and I'm like, and I ended up in this Western shop and I just was like, it took forever for her to find me. I don't think I've ever been back.
Kathy lost her nails yesterday. 2 days ago, walking in Disneyland. Lost her nail. You'll see her foot later.
Oh, okay.
It's so big. And now they have Euro Disney.
Oh, really?
In Paris, which is smaller and very relaxed.
It's different, absolutely.
It's in Paris.
It's a European style.
Euro is Disney, but it's Euro Disney. And they have one in Hong Kong.
And Japan.
Almost as big as the... not as big, but they have everything.
See, I won't get on roller coasters anymore. I'm past
You know what? Me too.
I don't trust them.
It's not that exactly right. Why should I go?
Every year there's a fatality on a roller coaster. I'm done.
Let me tell you, I haven't done a roller coaster my entire life with a loop. Never once. And I'm 32.
I'm done.
Never once.
One day I did a loop. I didn't have my belt. I fell down and it cut me back.
When you're young, you're stupid.
I've heard stories of that though. People like playing pranks where they spit on the loop and then
that's
spit.
terrible.
It's terrible. But people do that. Take advantage of it.
Well, when you go to the amusement parks, they have
people
these kids running, 17-year-olds.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
I didn't create that.
What the kids? What?
And you see kids running the machines in America, like little teenagers running the machines. I'm like, a 17-year-old's running this?
Yeah.
No,
they're just like, yeah, bro, it's all good. Just push the green button to go and the red button to stop. Like they're stuck in the loop. Anyway, cool. Miriam, it was a pleasure to have you here on Damn Good Fight.
You.
God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
We will support all your programs.
Thank you so much.
You rock.
Thank you, Miriam.
Seriously.
Thank you.
For everybody, you helped.
Thank you. That was cool. That was cool, Miriam.
You guys are funny. I like you.